to the hardware store to see my old friend Bob. I said my roof it leaks, my rug's a mess, and my front door needs a new knob. I got squirrels in my attic, I got bats in my head. Well, Bob just leaned over the counter and he shook his head and said, "You need home repairs and solutions. Home repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home repairs and solutions."
And welcome to the Home Repairs and Solutions Show with hosts Mary Pearson and Mark Withers. Home Repairs and Solution is brought to you by Spring Mountain Air, your authorized Amana dealers. Now here's Mary and Mark.
Good morning.
Well, good morning.
Isn't it a beautiful day?
It is a beautiful day in the Ozarks.
Yes, it is. We've had a lot of beautiful days in the Ozarks.
We have. I'll tell you what, this week's been pretty incredible. I mean, as far
I
as
hope
the
everyone
weather
enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
Next week it's supposed to be hot, which is the way I like it, but I'm one of those strange people.
Well, this is perfect. You know, I don't like it any hotter than this, but I'll take it. You know, hey, what am I going to do
Well,
about
if you own
it?
a heat and air company, you want it hotter.
You want it hotter. That's just, you got a good point there, Mary. You know.
From a business perspective, from a heat and air perspective, yeah, we need it to heat up a little.
Yeah. That's
But
true.
it did give us all a little bit of a break. We've been working really hard, so yeah, kind of gave my guys a little bit of a break. They didn't have to work so many hours this week. So
Yeah, but it's going to hit us.
it is. I'm ready.
You know.
Well, you know, the
yeah.
fair's coming to town. It's always hotter than heck when the fair's
always hot when the fair. Yeah, I mean, always.
Yeah, always. So if it's not hot, wait for fair time. It's
That's
going
right.
to get hot.
That's right.
So that'll be coming up soon, too.
Yeah. You know, back in the early days of Home Repairs and Solutions, we used to go out and broadcast the show from the fair. I did it out there 3 or 4 years in a row.
Now, that would be fun.
It was fun. We'd sit up out there and get to watch everybody walk by
Yeah.
and stuff and do
You
the
never
show.
know. We could probably have all kinds of interesting guests on the show if we did it live from
Boy,
the
I
fair.
tell you what, there's usually a lot of interesting people at the fair. So, yeah.
Might meet someone really important. We could just
Yeah.
grab them and put them on the show for a few minutes. You never know.
That's right. That reminded me last Saturday night I did something that I wouldn't have thought I would have ever done in my life. But we went and seen Three Dog Night down at Branson.
Oh, were they good?
And they were, it was fantastic.
I heard they were going to
Those-
be in Branson, yeah.
So those old guys can still sing pretty good. But we had really good seats, but right down in the very front row, I seen this guy come in, and I said, "That's Aaron Owen." I said, "From the Ozark Empire Fair." And so afterwards, I seen him up there in the bathroom, and he's like, "Yeah, this is going to be one of my last weekends." He said, "Where I had a little free time," he said, "because it all starts now."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
it's going to be hopping out there at the
oh,
fairgrounds.
it'll be
so
hopping out there. That's right, it will. So, but that's all right.
it's all good.
It's all good.
Gives you something to do before school starts.
Yep.
Then that'll be the next thing. School will be starting, but we
I'll
won't
tell
talk
you
about
what.
that right now.
No, that's going to be honest before we know it.
I know. I don't have any children in school, but I have grandkids going
Me
to school,
neither.
and it seems like they had a really short summer this summer. I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but
Oh, well.
you know, they're still a kid. They still get the summer off.
They're
I'm
still-
still working
yeah.
12
And I
months out of the
still-
year.
Yeah, that's right. That is true. So, well, we have a special guest with us
We
in here.
do. Yes, we
and
do.
I'm really excited about this because if we go back like several years, this gentleman
More than
right
two?
here, more than two, yeah. He is an old pro at this because we used to do this show together back years ago in the Herman Lumber days.
Yep.
And so it's great to have him here, Kenny Williams. And Kenny is now with Norandex and sells siding and windows and all kinds of great stuff. He's going to tell us all about that today. But it's great to have you here.
Oh, good to be here, Mark.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while. It's brings back memories.
Yes, it does. Absolutely. So,
We was talking about how much fun we used to have doing this show back years ago.
oh, yeah. Yeah, and it's still fun.
It's still fun. It's fun for me and Mark every Friday. We hope
Oh,
it's
yeah.
fun for our listeners, too.
Yeah.
But me and Mark always have a good time. So
Oh, always, that's for sure. Well, tell us a little bit about what you do over there.
Well, I'm an outside salesman from Norandex. We sell vinyl siding, windows, replacement windows, new construction windows. We sell guttering and rainware for the gutter installers. We are a large company, and we do a lot of business in the Springfield area.
Well, that's fantastic. Now, is it all just, do you have to be a contractor to buy from you, or is there a residential side where...
We are a contractor yard, yes.
Okay.
We deal mostly with contractors.
So if y'all are getting ready to do a remodel, replace your windows, whatever, tell your contractor
Yep.
to come see you.
Yep. Yep. And if they need a contractor, we have if they want siding installed, they can come by and see us, and we can recommend contractors.
Sure. Great.
So if you are a residential homeowner and they want to come see you, you will not throw them out of your store.
We will not throw them out, and we have a lot of homeowners that come by and they'll have one piece of siding that's broken, or they've hit it with a weed eater and cut
Sure.
it, or hail damage, and we have a lot of siding in stock, and usually we can find something to match up to replace one piece if they need one piece.
Oh, wow.
And we will take care of those customers.
Sure. Well, that's good to know that you can
Yeah.
just get like one or two pieces and not have to buy like a whole carton of something
Yeah.
Oh,
or
yeah.
a truckload of something.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Anything that we have in stock, they can buy up to one piece or more. If it's a non-stock item and we can get it, they do have to buy it by the box.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
But then they got some extra they can keep around in case something else
Oh,
happens.
yeah. Yeah,
or if
there
their
you
neighbor
go.
has the same siding, they can sell it to them when they get dinged.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, since we're talking about siding, I know we've both seen this transition. Back when I started in the lumber business years ago, it was the old masonite siding and stuff, and then we started getting into the vinyl and things. Vinyl has actually changed over the years. You have to really watch because there's still some of the, I call it cheap, flimsy vinyl out there, but what does a person need to look for if they're going to put vinyl siding on their house?
Well, the first thing I look for would be the thickness of the vinyl, the millimeters, and we carry nothing less than a 40 mil, and it goes up to they're 40, 42, and 44 mil on our vinyl. The board and batten is a 48 mil. So there's some of the box stores will carry something sometimes that is less than the 38 mil, but we don't carry anything. But the mil thickness is really important on vinyl siding.
Now, we always hear, vinyl siding, it's maintenance free, you don't have to do anything to it. That's not true.
That is not true.
Yeah.
It's a low maintenance. It's not maintenance free. It's a low maintenance. Vinyl does need to be cleaned. It gets dirty, and we have people say, well, my vinyl's molding. Well, vinyl doesn't mold, but it will collect dirt, and the moisture will make a mold grow on it. And it just needs to be cleaned and maintained, just like your car. You just got to keep it clean.
Right, because we see houses all the time that, like especially on the north side.
On the north side where the moisture is, there's a little
Yeah.
more moisture, and it doesn't dry out good from the sun.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see a lot of times the mold and stuff on that.
Yeah.
And, they make vinyl siding cleaners, but, there's a solution that, as a matter of fact, you brought this to us, kind of a recipe or formula that
Yeah.
you can use that's surprisingly easy to do. And it's mainly vinegar, water, and maybe a little detergent.
We were just talking how many things you can mix with water and vinegar and clean.
Yeah.
Coffee pots and siding and
Sure.
And Lord, it's
Yeah.
amazing how much stuff you can clean with vinegar.
Yeah.
Also, Simple Green is a solution that you can buy that's really good for cleaning vinyl siding.
Well, a lot of people are into the green, environmentally friendly, environmentally safe, and that's one reason. Everybody used to say, well, you use bleach and stuff, and I try not to use bleach because if you do, just use a small part because bleach don't actually clean.
Yeah.
I mean it'll bleach it out.
And bleach actually kills it.
It kills it.
Kills the most.
Yeah.
But you need to clean it before you even do it on. And you can mix it up in a sprayer and spray it on, let it set for a little bit. Wipe it down with a real soft bristle brush and wash it off, and it'll look brand new.
Yeah. So there's things that folks can do out there to their siding to make it look good. Now, say I have a house that's had vinyl siding on it for 8 or 10 years, and I go to put a new piece up. It's probably going to be, even if it's that same color, it's probably going to be a different color when
Yeah.
you put it up.
Yeah, vinyl siding. If somebody tells you vinyl siding will not fade, they've not been truthful with you. But most of your vinyl sidings are set up to fade uniformly, so you don't really notice it unless you do have to replace a
Right.
And in that case, a lot of times, if they have to replace a piece of that, they take they'll find a piece somewhere that's obscure and you can't see it, and they'll put that up where you're going to replace
Yeah.
it, and put the new piece back where it's hidden.
Right. Good idea.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Well,
I have
yeah.
a neighbor that should have done that at the lake. It's very obvious what's the new vinyl and what's the old.
Yeah. And, it's the same with shingles. There's
Yeah.
different color lots and stuff. And I've seen people make repairs the same color shingles right in the middle of a roof, and it's boy, you can
Sticks
tell
out.
it sticks out.
Some people use a power washer, but you really have to be careful when you power wash vinyl siding. You want to power wash at eye level and not shoot up under the siding or get the power washer too close, because it will etch your siding and can't even cut it. It's
Right.
so much faster.
And that's one thing I've always done is just get a really good quality nozzle that'll go on your hose.
Water hose.
Yeah, on your water hose. It'll put out a really good stream of water. I would prefer myself to take, like you said, that soft bristle brush on a handle or stuff where you can kind of scrub it a little bit and take a good stream of water and wash it off, because if you don't know the correct way to use a power washer, you can really cause some damage.
Yeah, there's been a lot of decks cut up.
Oh,
where
my gosh,
You have
yeah.
to replace the boards because it'll ruin them.
Oh, yeah. I learned back in the early days of when it used to be Wood Bright. I worked, quite a bit for Stan Kremke's that owned the company, and Stan taught me the proper way to power wash a deck or a board. You don't just, and I've seen it so many times, you'll see these lines and stuff all
Streaks.
over it. The streaks where people don't know the proper way, how you feather it in and everything. And there's a technique to doing it as decks, just like there is on siding.
And
Keep
vinyl siding will do
tearing
the
stuff
same
up.
thing.
Yeah.
If you don't watch it
If you don't,
with a
yeah,
power washer.
exactly. So it's important to do it the right way. And if you don't want to do it yourself, why, there's professionals just like the Renew crew can come out and
That's right.
and clean that siding for you. But and I see a lot of times what you mentioned earlier about knocking a hole in it with a weed whacker, or your lawnmower throws a rock and stuff. That does happen.
It happens a lot.
A lot. Yeah, absolutely. And so it's good to know you can usually get a piece to go back in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
replace
we
that.
don't have it, we usually know probably where you can find it.
Right. And, with vinyl siding, of course, there's all kinds of parts and pieces. You have your J channels and your J blocks, and, there's all kinds of things. Your dryer vents, you can, there's all kinds of parts and pieces that you can get. And there's more to it than just the siding, and,
Yeah. Oh,
So-
yeah.
Yeah.
We've got all the parts and pieces that you need to repair your siding.
Yeah. Now, and if a person don't want to go with vinyl, there's other alternatives now, and you
yeah.
also carry that like the cement board siding or the sample. When we met yesterday, you brought me a sample of LP.
Yeah, LP Smart Side.
Smart Side.
And it's a wood product that virtually they soak all the parts and the pieces of the wood in a resin and glue, and it puts under high pressure, and it's got a really good warranty, and it's wood. Mm-hmm. And you get it pre-painted, and has a 30-year warranty on it, on the paint. So it's another one of those that's I wouldn't call it low maintenance. It'd be low maintenance.
Low
also, you're
maintenance.
still going to have to do some work to it. You know, to keep it clean.
Sure.
But
now the thing about that is, if you get tired of the color of your house, you can paint that.
that is correct. You can paint. It'll take paint just like any wood product would.
Right. So that'd be something that.
And it comes in several styles. You've got your the stucco board, and you have a board and batten, which a cedar. You put a plank up, and you board it, bat it out, and then it also has several different sizes of lap siding that you can put on.
Right. So it can give your house a total different look. And we're starting to see more of that.
More of that, that, and also the concrete board. There's a lot of it, and a lot of commercial projects are going with the concrete board.
Right. Well, I know we've started using a lot of the concrete board on our new houses that we're building, and if a person wants something that's zero flame spread, and I don't know if they're still doing it, but if you use all the cement board siding, used to your insurance companies would give you the discount just like you had a brick home.
I think they still do, and
Yeah.
and it's it virtually has a chemical that makes it rodent keeps the bugs away from it also.
That's always a good thing.
That
That's
is
always
always a good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't like them bugs in my house.
I don't either.
I have a question for you on the wood siding you were just talking about that you put under pressure and all that. Does that have a better insulation factor than just vinyl siding, or is?
Well, it's probably going to have a better R factor than which siding. Siding has a very little R factor
Right,
to it anyway. You're going to get your R factor out of your in the cavity of your wall, but I don't know that it. Now, some vinyl sidings come with a foam back, and it will add a little bit of an R factor to it, but still, even that is very nil.
Right. I didn't know if the wood was just that much. And is the wood, is it thicker than vinyl siding?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I would think it'd be
your LP is
thicker.
going to be around 3/8 of an inch thick.
Okay. Okay.
And if you did want to try to achieve the R value, Kevin Cross Tech, and he builds a cement siding that has like a R7 or 8.
Yeah.
But for most of us homeowners or builders, we use just the regular vinyl. Like you said, I hadn't seen the foam back that you put up for a long time. I didn't know if anybody was still using that or not.
It's still pretty popular, especially on retrofit.
Yeah, but the way we build houses nowadays, where they use the zip wall system, where you have the sheeting and you tape all the seams, or you use a good house wrap, it really cuts down on the air infiltration. And the thing about vinyl, if you'll notice, there's little holes underneath the vinyl, for weep holes to let the moisture out, because you don't want moisture to stand behind that.
Yeah.
So
the foam back vinyl also it's more for the stability of the vinyl rather than the R factor of it. It just makes it feel solid, more solid. It's what the foam back does for the vinyl.
Yeah. But you're right, you really need to achieve your R value within the wall, within your wall cavity. That's the best place to do it. So,
Well, I know that a lot of, unless you get in certain areas that require you to have all brick, a lot of houses, because of all the different siding that's available and different colors and things you can do, I think that some of the new houses going up, like maybe some with brick accents or brick front and rock accents or something in siding, I think it makes a nice looking home.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? And you don't have all the cost of the brick and that type of thing. And I mean, brick houses are great, but the cost factor is pretty much quite a bit higher than if you do the vinyl. And so when we built our daughter's house, we did a brick front just for just for curbside or whatever, and put some decorative stone and stuff on it. But then we did the rest in siding, and her house is about, I think, maybe 8 years old, maybe 9 years old, and it still looks great. I mean, the siding and stuff has held up very well, and it still looks almost brand new. And like you said, you just clean it occasionally, and there's nothing that's no maintenance, unfortunately.
That's right.
But you can get low maintenance and easy
low
maintenance
but
and that type
no
of thing.
maintenance,
No maintenance is not a factor if you're a homeowner.
Because even if you have an all brick home, you still need to maintain it.
Sure.
Yeah, so there's no such thing as no maintenance.
No. If there was, we would all have a no maintenance home, because
We would.
there's always some kind of maintenance.
Yeah.
But
in the vinyl also now there are several simulated shakes. There are even making a stone vinyl looks like stone. That from a distance you can't even tell it's not real stone.
Oh wow!
You don't have the weight of the stone, and it's at the expense of the regular stone too. But they got stacked stone, and they got a looks like it has a joint in it, a mortar joint.
Wow.
So the options on vinyl are unlimited.
So you can get just about any look you want with vinyl.
You bet. Sure can.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I hadn't seen that.
I didn't know that either, but that's pretty cool. That's another option available. So
yeah, see a lot of accents in gable ends where they'll go up vinyl even up so far, then go ahead and change it and give it a different look.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I tell you what, I really, we was talking about the LP Smart Side, that stucco look. That's a good looking panel.
Yeah.
And if you really want to change your look, do that, a combination of that and stone, or a combination of that and brick, some cedar. And that would be a great look too. And we start doing, we do some stucco, but we do the actual old real stucco. But this would be such a great alternative, and the warranty on it's great.
The warranty's good.
And
I think it would be easier to put up to labor wise.
Lots easier.
Lots easier than, because instead the old stucco where you have like the chicken wire and that's like labor intensive.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you don't have to worry about a chunk of it falling off.
Yeah.
If it's a vinyl product, because I've seen some old stucco homes where you can tell where maybe some of that plaster stucco's come out, and that would just be not fun to try and repatch all that stuff. I wouldn't think.
I wouldn't think so either.
But if you like that look, then now you have a vinyl product available for that, which I think is a great alternative for people who like that look.
Well, it is, and like Kenny was saying, it comes in so many different styles. You can get the shake look and.
Scallops looks, and
so
they have a cut shake, and then they have a staggered shake, and there's several different shake models that you can look at too.
And so you could really dress your house up really neat, and not spend near as much money.
Well, and really customize the look of your home.
Sure, yeah.
So lots more options for homeowners than there used to be, and also affordable.
Yeah, exactly. And I was driving through a neighborhood the other day that was it's pretty much all vinyl sided houses, and they all looked alike because at that time there was just hardly any options, and it's just regular old, lap vinyl siding, and but now there's so many different options.
Oh, straight lap, and there's Dutch lap, and they got it in 4.5, 5, and 5, on up to an 8-inch single lap anymore, which is.
Oh wow, that'd be a different look.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, so all kinds of different options out there.
You know what we haven't done?
What's that? We haven't given
out
the phone numbers. No, we better do that before we go to break. Somebody might want to call us. 862-9977, 1-800-375-0056. If you're in Verizon, I wanted to say Alltel because I was used to saying that so many times. But if you're a Verizon wireless customer, star 56, or we're high-tech enough, you can text us at 417-838-3192, and we would absolutely love to hear from you.
That's right. And if you have questions about vinyl siding or any of that stuff,
Yeah.
please call today and ask the expert we have sitting here.
and Windows. We'll get to Windows after the break because there's a couple questions that I know Kenny can answer about
Windows.
About Windows.
Windows can be very confusing.
Oh, they can. Absolutely. And so we're going to get him to kind of straighten folks out on the Windows here.
There you
after
go.
The break too.
So if you have a question, make sure that you got our number down and get ready to dial in after the break, and we'll answer your questions.
Yes, we will.
We'd love to hear from you.
We would love to. Speaking of break, it's that time that we could probably just take us a break right here. We'll be back with more home repairs and solutions right after this. Now, if you've got a problem and you don't know what to do, your siding's going bad and you're plagued with green mildew. Well, your faucets, they all drip, and your sinks are all clogged up too. Well, there's no need to worry. I'll tell you what you can do. Just call Home Repairs and Solutions. Home Repairs and Solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house. They'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home Repairs and Solutions.
Time for news on your Ozarks News Network. A former Greene County court bailiff has been charged with bank robbery. Timothy Paladna is accused of robbing a Bank of America branch at 633 West Kearney on July 9th. An anonymous tip led FBI agents to Paladna. Paladna is being held without bond pending his first appearance in federal court. A man and woman from Polk County have now been charged in connection with break-ins at hangars at the Bolivar Airport. Francis Ann King of Bolivar and Curtis Braswell of Halfway have each been charged with 4 counts of burglary. The pair allegedly stole tools and cash from the hangars on May 24th. This is Gary Williams with your Ozarks Network News.
Mostly cloudy today with a high 78, then it will become partly cloudy tonight with a low 57. For tomorrow, mostly sunny day, high of 82, and a low tomorrow night of 62. Sunday, partly sunny skies, a bit more humid, high getting up to 86. Then remaining humid Monday with plenty of sunshine throughout the day, high of 91. I'm AccuWeather's Kevin Snyder.
It's 72 degrees at AM 560 KWTO.
You know that new home you've been dreaming about? Yeah, that one. Why not make that your home? I'm Jay Vino with Greater Springfield Realtors, and I'm here to help make that a reality. The opportunity is now. There hasn't been a better time in years to make that transition into a new home. Please call me at 417-881-3061 or reach me directly at 417-827-0552.
With millions of businesses all in one place, YP can help you do pretty much anything. But can it get you to the moon? Well, you'll need a space helmet. YP has space museums. You'll need parts. YP has My Book, which helps you organize your favorite businesses, including hardware stores. YP even has a cheap gas finder, perfect for longer trips. YP, the even more powerful Yellow Pages. Download the app or visit YP.com. YP can do that.
Well, I went down to the hardware store to see my old friend Bob. I said my roof it leaks, my rug's a mess, and my front door needs a new knob. I got squirrels in my attic, I got bats in my head. Well, Bob just leaned over the counter and he shook his head and said, you need home repairs and solutions. Home repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home repairs and solutions.
And welcome back to Home Repairs and Solutions, brought to you by Spring Mountain Air, your authorized Amana dealer. If you have questions or comments about vinyl siding, about windows, about anything having to do with your house, call 862-9977 or 1-800-375-0056 and we'll put you on the show, or else you can text to...
You can text at 417-838-3192. We'd love to hear from you, and I did get a text.
You did?
Just a little bit ago. A question for the show. Not a personal call.
Okay.
No, I did answer the phone during the break, but...
Yeah, you did.
But,
that's
yeah.
okay. It was your dad,
It was
right?
my dad.
Well, then that's a
Yeah,
pass. You get a pass
so,
for that.
Okay. But no, I did get a question. And I know that you can't probably answer this exact, but you can maybe give us a general idea, Kenny. This person wanted to know... says my house is approximately 4,000 square foot and 3 stories. So, big house.
That's a big house.
Yes, it is.
What should I expect to spend for siding and install? Thanks. Love the show. I know that's going to be a difficult question to ask, but is there kind of a general rule of a square footage price that a person could figure maybe?
Boy, that is really, really difficult.
It depends on the siding they want, I would say.
Depends on the mill thickness of the siding, the grade of the siding, and the install guys are all over the board. And the best thing I would tell them to do is call several of the siding places in Springfield and get bids from them.
Right.
And be sure and question them about their siding, the thickness of their siding, and get references so they can see their jobs that they've gotten done. Or and if they want to call us over there, we have recommendations that we can give some siding installers out there.
Right. So,
but as far as coming up with the price, it's just too vague. It would be it would just be all over the board.
Yeah, it'd be tough to answer, but we do appreciate them texting it.
You know, used to you could do that because you didn't have any choices.
Sure.
You had this kind of siding and that was it, or this kind of furnace and that was it, or whatever. And then it was real easy to do, ballpark bids like that. But nowadays, with all the options available and the different things, you have to really know what that consumer is looking to buy, and like you said, you have different thicknesses. I have a question that I just thought of is if you buy siding that has that's color treated, is that more expensive than just like a white or is it all color treated? Is white a color treatment too?
Well, no, there are colors, but they're actually the color is down inside the siding. It's extruded.
Okay.
And they mix the polymers and everything together and melt it down, and they run an extrusion, so the color's all through it.
Okay.
It's not painted onto it or it's not. Now they do make a capstone that will have a thin coat on it, but that is usually on more of your more inexpensive sidings. So most of your high end sidings the color will be all the way through it.
Does that make the price higher, or does it matter?
Your color sometimes will be a little more higher than white, and a lot of times they'll be like maybe 3 to 4 different price ranges and usually the darker the siding, the higher they get. The more bright, your bright reds, your dark browns are a little higher because they have to do a lot more chemicals in it, so it will maintain that color.
Okay, that makes sense. I just wondered because it comes in so many different color options now too, where it didn't used to.
Yeah.
So,
it's just like the rainbow anymore. There's so many colors, and they just keep coming out with more and more colors too. But like I say, the darker, brighter colors are usually a little more expensive than the neutrals, your grays,
because of the process it takes to get that color.
That is correct,
okay.
and keep that color.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
And I do remember back in the day when you really couldn't get a dark colored vinyl siding because the sun, the heat from the sun. Yeah, it would just warp it and do all kinds of weird things.
And make it get splotchy looking.
Oh yeah,
it was the dark colors were and they have improved the dark colors now where the quality of them and how they stand up is just really out there. Yeah, it's good.
yeah, absolutely. I mentioned earlier, I want to touch on windows just a little bit because there are so many questions people have with windows. I know we both experienced this the day when people would come in to the lumberyard and say, well, I got this window. I have no idea what kind it is, or, there's so many different vinyl windows out there. What do you want to look for if you go to buy a vinyl window to replace the windows in your house or new construction?
Yeah.
What's the things you ought to look for?
The first thing I would look for would be if the window is an Energy Star rated, which it has to be to get any kind of a tax credit.
Right.
And there's several numbers on the Energy Star about the U factor and the solar heat gain and the visible transmission, and they all are the better the rating, the better your window is.
Right.
And then there's a AAMA certification, and there's two levels of gold and a silver level, and that is probably, and what that is, it's more of the the windows are tested by a standalone company, and some of the windows are the best rating is a gold standard, and they test about 7 different things on the window, and they come in and pull the window off the line, and to get this highest rating, and you don't know they're coming. They come in and pick it up, and if that window does not meet those standards, you have to pull that window, and you lose your certification until you get it fixed.
Really? Wow.
And then there's a silver, and the silver rating, they just come in, and you can actually send them a window, and they just check the center of the window for that one particular thing. So there are the air infiltration is checked. The lost my train of thought. The called AWS, and it's air, water, and structural is what that stands for. And then there's the best one. Then it has a thermal, which they test the whole window as a unit, and that is the highest rating you get. Which the windows that we carry are the highest rated gold label windows you can get. And any window will have this rating, will be in the jamb or on the side of the sash, so you can visually see this gold or silver. And if they don't have any rating, I would stay away from that window.
Okay.
You're talking about the numbers and the ratings. Is the higher the number, the better the rating, or is number one the best rating? How does the number thing work?
On the U factor, actually, the lower the number, the better the window.
Okay.
And the range will run from 0.25 up to about 0.125.
Okay.
So, but you need to look at the U factor, the solar heat gain, which the lower the number, the less heat will transmit through your window.
Okay.
There you want the lower number again.
Okay.
And on the visible transmission is that you want the higher number. And these are listed on, and it'd be a white sticker on the front of every window that you see now.
Yeah.
And that's what these numbers, but you really want to pay attention to them. And if you can get online and look on the internet, you can find anything on the internet and study these, and they'll tell you all about both these items that I've talked about.
Because that's what's confusing. I mean, so, and I think windows are extremely confusing because I know what I like visually, but then, like you said, you've got a sticker on there with all these numbers. If you don't know what those numbers mean, you don't know what you're getting.
You don't know where the highest good or lowest good.
Right, and that's where I never knew which number should I be looking at and where should it be.
If you get on the internet and just type in Energy Star windows, and it'll take you to a website, and you can get on and look, and it explains what all these mean, what all the levers mean.
Good to know, because it can be. I think that can be very confusing, and it's like if you don't know what it means, if you're not a scientific engineer, you don't know what all that means.
Yeah, it's very confusing. And
I think
you
it
can
is.
Get lost in it, and like I say, before you buy any windows, I would go online and study them.
And that way, you know what you're getting instead of thinking you know what you're getting. Be sure.
Well, I know it is confusing, and and also, I don't know if this is done as much anymore, but there used to be several companies out here that would come around and they'd want to sell you new windows, and they had their handy-dandy finance plan, and it was just unreal the amount of money that you would pay for their new windows. But they got a lifetime warranty and everything on them. But just be very leery of what you're getting. Even if you have a remodeler or whoever's going to put new windows in your house, make sure that they have all those ratings. You got your argon filled, you got low E, you got so many different options you can go on windows.
Yeah.
And it's not that much more expensive to get the the ones with all the bells and whistles, and it'll save you energy.
It makes a huge difference. When we
Sure.
replaced all of our windows there in Nixon, especially in the sunroom, which faced south, it was amazing the difference in the temperature in that room because we
Yeah.
put real good thick triple pane windows in there. They were huge windows because we obviously wanted the view out the back. But if you don't put the right ones in there, you're
yeah,
not going to be happy with that
exactly.
room. But we did, and we had the UV and all that, so we reduced all the glare. I think when we replaced them, we just had single pane stuff in there. It was done
Right.
several years ago, and they just threw something in there, and it made a world of difference. And actually, when we did that, then we were able to open up that room to the rest of the house, and everything was just a really comfortable, fun room to have. But yeah, windows will make a big
Oh, yeah.
difference and
A-
it also made
absolutely.
a difference in the noise that we could hear.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were there on CC and there was quite a bit of traffic then. There's insane amount of traffic now. And if you were out in the front yard, you could hear the traffic pretty well. But inside the house, you couldn't hardly hear it inside the house once we replaced the windows. So
Then you've got your windows with you've got a low E film which you can put on it, which helps your the heat in coming in, and the infrared that it blocks out, keeps your curtains and your carpet from fading.
Yeah.
They have argon gas filled anymore, and they've even got windows now that are krypton filled.
Really?
Krypton is 12
didn't that kill Superman?
Krypton is 12 times heavier than air, so it has probably the best rating for a window now to help the energy efficiency of that window.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And
I didn't know that.
They're very, very expensive, and they're starting to use this Krypton fill window in the northern states where it's really cold. Next year they're going to come out with some new Energy Star ratings, and to get some of these ratings in northern states, they're going to have to use some of these higher end products to get the rating that these Energy Star are requiring.
Wow, that's interesting.
So you can have kryptonite windows.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Superman will stay out.
I'm telling
yeah,
you.
Superman won't come in.
There we go.
That's pretty good. You know, I'm going to tell a little story on me and Kenny talking about windows. Back years ago, we went, me and Kenny and a few of the other salesmen, we all went to the Anderson window plant. And I forget where that's at. It's up in
Bayport, Michigan.
Yeah. And it's the first time, we talked about this yesterday at lunch because somebody mentioned it at the coffee shop the other morning about eating strange things. First time I ever ate snails, it was with Kenny Williams. They
At the Anderson window plant?
No, they took us out to this fancy.
I was confused there
it
for
was
a
like
minute.
an old German inn thing, and they set us at this big long table, and it was just kind of one of those eat, drink, and be merry. And so they set down these escargot in front of us, and Kenny looked at me, and I looked at him, and I said, "Are you going to try them?" And he's like, "I will if you will." And we ate snails.
Did you
together.
like them?
They was good.
I've had them before where they were really good, and I've had them when they were really bad.
These were really good. And we
Yeah.
found out one other thing, because neither one of us cared for wine. It's cheap wine that we don't like.
That's right.
The good stuff was all right.
Was good, yeah. And it makes the snails taste better, too, by the way.
Yeah. After a little bit of what we had, it don't matter what you eat, you know.
Yeah.
But no, that's been back a few years ago. But and you know, there's the window market has changed so much because used to people didn't want vinyl windows. They thought they was just cheap. Now you're seeing vinyl windows in $300,000 and
houses,
$500,000 houses. You know,
it's amazing, and actually you can get to upper end windows that are just as good, if not better, than your wood clad windows.
And they
Well,
don't rot.
vinyl doesn't rot. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
At least vinyl doesn't rot.
Yeah.
And wood is
And-
going to at some point in time.
And you know, I think the quality of the extrusions nowadays are so much better that used to, you know, 5 or 10 years, which back when vinyl windows first come on the market, they hadn't been out there long enough to know what they was going to do. I think the research is there now where we don't have the plastic getting brittle and stuff like we did. You know, it's a lot better UV protection.
The glass
and they last.
packages that you can get on windows now, there's several different glass packages you can get with super spacers, and the more area you have between the two panes of glass, the better your window will perform.
Yeah. So there's so many options out there, and you know, when I first went to work for Dan Clark over there at Remax, and you know, we of course, you know, build houses. One of our big arguments was at that time, I liked Anderson windows. Still like Anderson windows. And Dan's like, we're not going to spend that extra. He said, because the windows that we're putting in are good windows. And he said they perform well. And it took me a while to ever, we used to butt heads over that. But, I mean, he's absolutely right. Over the 12 years that I've been with him, I've seen the windows evolve to where, I mean, we just never have problems with them.
Yeah.
And if you do, the main thing, the big beef I always had with vinyl windows is if you did have a problem, 9 times out of 10 there was no name on them. You didn't know who manufactured them.
I was going to ask you.
And I don't know if that's still an issue or not, but.
Well, if all of our windows that we sell have a code on them,
Uh-huh.
and you can about figure out what the window is by the code that's on these windows.
Yeah.
You can, but probably the average homeowner can't.
Yeah. Well, and we get calls weekly of people wanting to know, what kind of window is, and sometimes we can help them, and sometimes there's just not enough information for us to help them.
Sure. I've always wondered how come window manufacturers don't put their name on their products. They just kind of never have they?
No, for the most part. Now, Anderson used to etch theirs in the corner, in the
Yeah.
lower,
Yes,
in
yeah.
one of the lower corners.
Yeah.
That was one thing about Anderson, but they were one of the few.
Yeah, and it was always on their hardware. And a lot of windows, it'll say truth. And people think, oh, this window's truth. Well, that's the hardware.
That's the hardware,
manufacturer,
yeah. Which is a whole different manufacturer than the window.
For hundreds of thousands of windows.
Yeah, sure.
But so that used to be a big problem figuring out.
And it still is. It still is a problem for people to figure out what, especially if the house. Usually the homeowners that built the house, they'll know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
Right.
it's when it's been sold 3 or 4 times that the people lose
You
track
lose
of
that,
what it is.
sure.
yeah, yep, exactly.
And there are lots of vinyl window companies that have came and gone the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm sure that's true.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm sure
There's
that's
been
true.
a bunch of them. Been a bunch of them, but yeah, like I say, if you're going to replace the windows in your house, just make sure they do have the good ratings on them, and if you have any doubt, you call Kenny Williams.
Yep.
That's right.
And speaking of that, how does people get a hold of Kenny Williams?
Well, you can get a hold of me through our office at 831-0992, or then they can get a hold of me on my cell phone, and I'll be glad to answer any questions or come by and see you.
Okay, great.
And where are you located in case someone needs to replace a piece of siding or something
Okay,
like
we
that?
are on North Oak Grove, off of Nearguard, which North Grove does not come to Kearney, but we're just north of Kearney, about 2 blocks off of Nearguard.
And what are your hours over there?
We're from 7 to 4.
Is that Monday through Friday?
That is correct.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah. So there's no excuse for not going over there and.
Yep.
Getting
If
that
you
siding
need some
fixed.
help with siding or if you have a window issue and you don't know what your window is, I think that would be hard. The houses that my husband and I always bought, they were always fixer-uppers and all that. And so when we got around to replacing the windows, they were all bad. So we would just replace them all, which is a little easier than trying to just match one or replace one or two.
Right.
But
Yeah. We got a caller.
we do. We have Dawn here in Springfield.
Oh, Don.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I bought a house in 2000. It was built in 85, and somewhere in the 90s, the gentleman put the Sinclair guaranteed for the life of the house windows in them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they transferred, closed down Springfield, and went to St. Louis area.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be careful of warranties. Don't buy just because they guarantee for the life of the house.
There you go. That's a good point.
Yeah, there's a place in town that does it, but it costs money to do it on a couple of minor repairs. But how would you rate the windows that Sinclair put in back in those years?
I don't know exactly what window they were putting in back then.
Yeah, I don't either.
A variety then. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got to be careful what I say here. When I mentioned earlier the places that would sell you the window, if somebody would come in, when I was there at Herman's and selling, a person come in and say, well, I had them, or there was 2 or 3 others that come out and did that, and I got 13 windows in my house, and they came out and bid it. I could tell you almost to the dollar what the bid was, and normally it's about $1,000 per opening.
Yeah.
And if I was charging somebody $1,000 per opening, yeah, I could afford to change that window out several times.
Absolutely.
And but it's worthless if they're not around anymore.
That's the key.
Yeah.
When I saw the bill, he left the bill there. It was $26,000.
Yeah.
And so that would probably come up to about pretty close $750, $800 per window.
Yeah.
And I haven't had any problem with them except for one time, and the screw came out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just thermal pain, and that's all they are. But I think the way they installed them was great because there's no air filtration or nothing like that. But I'm just curious if they used Anderson windows or who back in those days.
Well, back in those days, Anderson wouldn't have made a vinyl.
No, I'm sure positive it wasn't vinyl. It'd be in a wood clad for sure if it was Anderson.
Yeah.
But back then I don't know what window they were installing at that time when it was in Sinclair.
Well, that's the whole thing is don't buy just because of a warranty.
Exactly.
By the installer. So
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Don. Appreciate that call. Back a few years ago, my mom's house up at Harrisonville, we replaced all their old wood double-hung windows with new vinyls. And we used the replacement vinyls. I put them in the whole house. And, we're talking, maybe $150, $200 a window.
Yeah.
And, for nice windows, I think at that time I was, I forget what brand they were. But anyway, it's a lot cheaper than $1,000 a window.
Yeah. And one thing about Norandex, all of our window companies have been around forever.
Right.
They're not going anywhere, and neither is Norandex. So the companies that use our window know that we're going to be there and service our windows and take care of them.
And if you as a homeowner use a reputable company to put those windows in, they're going to keep a record of it.
They keep a record.
They know what they used on your house, and that's very important. That's why you need to, when you call somebody to do that, you need to make sure that they're legit. Ask them for references.
Ask them what windows they're putting in.
Ask them what windows.
Ask them where they're getting them.
Where do you get these windows?
Yeah.
That's very important.
Another reason to shop local.
Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Another reason to shop local.
We are almost out of time.
We are?
Yes, we are.
What if we're not done talking?
Well, we have done that a time or two.
We
just
have.
Kept right on talking.
Yes, we have.
Yeah,
but we could probably go on for another hour. Or so.
Oh, I'm sure we could.
Probably could.
Yeah. So, but give out your contact information one more time, Kenny.
It's Norandex. Our office number is 831-0992, and they can get a hold of me on my cell.
And there is a website. I looked at
it
just a little bit ago.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So, man, it's been great having you on.
We can answer about any questions you want, or they'll send it to me, and I'll try to come up with an answer.
There you go. There you go. And so, well, it's been great having you on. This is
kind of like old times. It's been fun.
Yeah, thank you so much for being with us on the show. Great information today.
Yeah, for sure. So, you're taking a little motorcycle ride this weekend, aren't you?
I am. My dad and I are going to take off and do a little weekend trip.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm going to go see my brother.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, that'll be great.
So look out, Mark. Here we come.
Well, if anybody is listening, is up towards Atchison, Kansas, the big Amelia Earhart Festival up there, come see us because we're going to be playing sometime tomorrow afternoon up there.
Are you flying in?
Oh, no, we're not flying in. We may fly all right, but it won't be in an airplane. So come see us up there. So, and have a good weekend.
You too, and thanks for being with us on the show. Come back next week. We'll have some more fun guests on.
Yes, we will. This is Home Repairs and Solutions, heard every Friday morning, 10 to 11, right here on AM 560 KWTO.